I'm challenging you, sir, to a duel.
I accept.
Are you serious?
No, I accept your challenge. What time were you thinking of dueling?
Anytime is good, really. I don't know. Let's say that you've learned your lesson now, and I've learned a little lesson, and we'll call it even, and I will respectfully decline the duel.
Well, you can't decline. You know, there's no backing out. I mean, that's the law.
Yep.
So I'm going to pencil you in
Don't do it.
for high noon tomorrow.
Don't do it.
Wherever you are, I'll find you.
Yeah.
I'm going to put one right between your teeth, and it's just going to pop out the back of your neck.
I will look for you. I will find you.
Welcome to the Iron Seas. We got a follow-up on the Buffalo school system controversy going on. It looks like, and we got A.C Pritchard, my lovely wife, and Jarrod Christman. What's your cat's name, buddy?
The cat is Tiger Lily.
Tiger Lily.
Tiger Lily. That's adorable.
My
We got
daughter
Tiger Lily.
insisted
I might
on
add-
Tiger Lily, the one-eyed pirate cat.
I just love her. Oh, she's like, Dad.
I'm not much of a cat person, but this one's something special. Like April was out on a walk and she came out of the woods like with her eye all messed up and followed April home like at least a half mile from the house. Like,
Oh, wow.
and it's like, well, she's the most like affectionate dog-like cat I've ever seen. Like,
That's awesome.
I love when dogs think they're cats and cats think they're dogs.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. But we can. I went ahead and I went right to the point where they start the podcast episode. This one's a little longer, so we might skip around a little bit, skip forward a little bit.
Very
just to
cool,
keep
yeah.
them.
Everyone, welcome to Unsubscribed Podcast. I'm joined today by Eli Double Tap, that electrician, our good friend Angry Cops, who has a lot to talk about, Brandon Herrera, myself, Talented Operator. Thank you so much for being here.
This is going to conclude everything or get hopefully everything in the right direction as we, Nick unfolds the binder of doom, his 3-ring war book.
Oh, but real quick, we since we were already on it, homegirl that denied.
Yeah, editor, I'll get you the video. Go ahead and throw up the video of the Honorable Paulette Woods slamming her glass of wine, then flipping off the school board and saying, "Shut the up, bitch," repeatedly.
Oh shit.
She then goes on to say that never happened, and I'm going to sue whoever says I did it. And then the video comes out, and she's like, "I'm sorry" on a podium. This is also I can use the video for this too. She's at the podium and she does her apology. Then she has her bishop come up, or like her priest or pastor, religious leader, whatever. He comes up and starts screaming at the audience and is like, "She apologized and you guys need to accept this. This is nothing more." This is their quote. "This is nothing more than the high-tech lynching."
It is unacceptable
Oh my god.
that after giving them apology to our colleagues and constituents, that you choose to do a public high-tech lynching of a black man.
Which is a wild fucking thing to say.
Yeah.
And somebody that's
It's on
read
video, dude.
a ton of historical
Jeez.
accounts of black war heroes who fought in World War II that literally had their fathers or uncles or brothers go through something like that. And then for you to equate that, just the unjustified, lawless killing of somebody for the color of their skin, to people being upset that you were in a school board meeting saying, "Shut the up, bitch," and flipping off the camera while drinking is fucking disgusting, and that alone should disqualify you from overseeing the education of children.
What
she's
does
still
she
on the
do?
board.
She's still on the
She's
board.
still on the board.
Yeah, of course.
She's a board member.
Yeah,
She's
I
a
agree with
sitting
that
board
too.
member.
Was she the spokesperson when everything first came out, when they had that big meeting, that initial meeting?
That was the superintendent. I forget her name. It's hyphenated.
Agree.
Not with Buffalo Schools, it's not.
Accountability? Buffalo public school system? Like, this is a high-tech lynching. It's like, no, this is just us accusing you of something you were on camera doing.
Ma'am, there's video footage. This is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's, yeah.
I just,
Sir, this is
I don't know, it's
Wendy.
disgusting behavior.
Fucking absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess where do you guys want to go from
Rich,
here?
give us an update on
weaponized
where
autism
you're
shirt
starting
is
right
awesome.
now. You were
Which shirt?
The weaponized autism shirt.
Yeah.
I think that we need to move it from what they say weaponized lynching. What they say? it
Oh,
was?
yeah,
Or-
like high-tech lynching or something like that.
Oh, okay. Let's just do regular lynching.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, dude, we need to start bringing these corrupt judges, these corrupt people, like for some justice.
Justice.
It needs to start. There have to be consequences.
Yeah, but as the French Revolution taught us, there is a fine line.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when the kids are involved, that's when you rile everybody up.
Yep.
I will for that. It's a unifying thing. Who was it? Reagan said if aliens invaded, everybody would get along.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if you mess with the kids, everybody gets along too. So.
Yeah, I hope so, man. That's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way anything will change.
Yep.
Or you've done like the podcast run, then now you're finally slowing down on that side. But what was the recourse, or
you're done
what
with
is everything happening now with you?
Okay, so it's been like what, 3 weeks? I think 3 full weeks. We're going into the fourth. So it started off with our initial buzz, and then I went in right away to do an interview with Channel 7.
That's right.
They did a 27-minute long interview, and they only put up like 3 to 4 minutes of its entirety.
Right.
That was it. The news attacked me for about 3 or 4 days.
Now, Hai has made headlines numerous times in the past. The Attorney General's office had found Hai had been, quote, repeatedly discourteous and unprofessional.
This is ridiculous.
What is this?
This is crazy. I'm listening to all these guys burp and just be absolutely foul.
You're looking at like the white claws on the table.
And
is
so
alcohol involved here?
My
Where
first
are they?
thought is
they can't even report on it.
Be real.
I don't think there's ever been another case that has come
They
out.
can't even report on it.
2025, right? It comes out on the podcast and
bizarre.
What's funny is like they're sitting in this like arcane studio with this entire arcane apparatus around them that is completely ineffective anymore at mass communication. But yet, because it is a familiar edifice, they feel like they have some sort of authority, and they just like you can smell their smugness through the screen. It's like those people they disgust me.
I know.
I'm really confused right now. Was the news really covering them and talking shit about them?
Yeah, talking shit about them. Yeah. They couldn't help but talk shit about them.
What is happening that the media is just like, oh, our children are what? Like what?
Yeah.
I promise
what is happening?
I promise you that the Unsubscribed podcast has a larger viewership in the key demo than that news show.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting
without question.
Pissed. This is
100%.
ridiculous. I can't even believe that.
Well, there's a reason he went on like something like the Unsubscribed podcast instead of calling his local news station. You know, like there's more eyes on it. And,
he's not normally a part of it?
No, I think he's his own like creator.
Oh.
Yeah, the Angry Cop or something like that.
Dude,
Okay.
legacy media cannot die soon enough.
Yeah, that's insanely disturbing. And it's like, on one hand, you're not surprised because we see them covering lies and pushing these crazy agendas and all saying the same exact thing verbatim.
Yep.
But
Like
on
a
the
script.
other hand, it's like I can't help but continue to just be blown away. Like I can't believe that they are actually that bad. I mean they are. They keep proving it, but are you kidding me? And what did she say? She said something specific about them, or they did.
She's like, with all the white claws and the alcohol, like, what are they?
Okay, but it's okay for
dummy, the same as you.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was gonna say. So it's okay that that lady's slamming wine and saying "fuck you" and she's on the school board. That's okay, but white claws on the table.
Yeah.
God forbid they have a sponsor.
That's probably why they started with that. They opened with a look at this.
Where was
joke.
that? Where was that news? What did they say where that news show's from? That
Say again?
particular did they say where that particular news show's from? That broadcast is from?
Go back because I'll just look it up.
Oh,
Good Morning Buffalo. Okay, so local news.
Okay, Buffalo. Like if you take the Buffalo Bills out of New York, nobody even knows where that city is. It is utterly irrelevant. In New York, let alone the whole country. Like no one cares. So you your pretentious newscast in Buffalo, New York, shut up. No one cares.
I have a friend that she lives in New York and she moved to Washington for a while, and she's actually back in New York. I don't know where she is now, but she was in Buffalo, and they moved because she was so afraid for her children's safety, because they would have, like, gunshots went through their house. And I think it was like on 2 separate occasions, and her husband almost died, well, at least the father of her children. I think they're just longtime partners, but anyway, pretty much her husband. He almost died because he was carrying something in a bag, and I think she said it was like an iced tea, and they thought it was like a 40 or something in the bag. So someone stabbed him a bunch, and almost killed him just to get what they thought was a beer.
There you go, Buffalo.
That adds up.
There you go.
So I would actually, I actually kind of want to message her and see what she thinks about all of this. I should do that. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
It's just, I mean, you take the NFL out of that city, and Buffalo hasn't been relevant since the railroad.
Yeah,
the
you're
railroad
nothing,
connected the
Buffalo.
coasts. Like,
You don't.
that's it.
You're nothing.
Yeah. That's all they are.
Shut up. Like, those, and it's like that
The
size,
entitlement.
like news affiliates in cities from that size are the most insufferable, pretentious pricks ever.
Right.
Like I can't even stand them, because the thing, like, I'm a news anchor for NBC Buffalo. Who cares? Who cares?
For real,
Shut
dude.
up. No one's watching. Shut
It's
your
so
mouth.
true.
Get
So
over
true. Like,
yourself.
and then, like, how did that work with the election, right? Like, somebody didn't show up to the podcast because they were too good, and then suddenly it's all going downhill for them.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder where all the eyes are.
Exactly.
Anyway. All right.
Okay, Turtle. No, I'm just kidding.
In the city of Buffalo, especially when we have a binder worth of information that we got just from OSINT, just from open source intelligence gathering.
Just wait until those FOIA requests start coming back.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So
I hope they don't, so I can sue them. Actually,
it'll be great. So Nick starts doing the FOIA requests. I start getting calls from different news agencies. I'm not going on the local news anymore at all, unless it's
I don't blame you.
The radio with David Bellavia, because he's been
Shout out to him.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's
David
amazing.
Bellavia's got a radio show on WBEN.
Who's the other guy? Ben, I think. Too.
Ben's on Channel 2.
Is he?
I'm glad they're tackling it right away.
Or no, Ben Tees
and
from the
they're
Buffalo
in the
News.
Nate
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
Benson
talking
is
about
on
it.
Channel 2. He's
Yep.
doing great. And then Ben T is with Buffalo News. He's also doing great.
Yeah, Ben's been very funny to watch, even just on Twitter or X or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
I'm gonna
very
get you a
fun.
That's
bad
the one
bitch.
with the autistic arm. We're like, let him
I'd wear
through.
it.
They all stand to the
My
side.
bitch.
Do not touch him.
Yeah, careful. He's a hero.
They're all standing at parade rest, double saluting.
So after the first week of like this onslaught of bullshit on coming towards me and me bearing the brunt of it,
Is that the
and
cop
then
guy
our
that's on
army
the
pushing
shows
back and
again?
saying,
Yeah.
wait a second,
Okay.
why are you doing this? We should be looking into this. You shouldn't be shooting the messenger, even though.
It's a good shirt.
Then
Mm-hmm.
Channel 2 special investigative reporter actually did a little bit of a deep dive and discovered that since 2021,
let's
there have
do
been
it.
over 17,000 police calls to the city of Buffalo.
17,772.
To be exact.
Good
And
To the
about 54%
schools.
of them fall under miscellaneous or information only.
That's only a few years.
Which is fine. If you get like a school board, or like, I don't know, like a school door was left open and it sounded the alarm, and you're like, all right, miscellaneous or alarm. It actually would go under an alarm call. Well, I stated originally that the schools were using these miscellaneous calls in order to cover up incidents of abuse on the children, from either child on child or a child coming in and making a disclosure to the schools. Well, what do you know? Out of the past 4 major incidents that have gotten tons of news coverage from the city of Buffalo public school system, one of them being a stabbing or a shooting at McKinley, one of them I think was a stabbing, there was an overdose incident and something else.
The teacher,
and the kidnapping.
The teacher gave the kids THC gummies, and the kidnapping, alleged kidnapping that he's now getting charged for. Those were all school other.
The crazy one was the one with the teacher that warned them about that door. They're like, hey,
It's like all teachers being creepy, dude. What the hell? And then like they're marking it as miscellaneous to like obfuscate it more. Like, what the hell, dude?
This is wild.
Yeah. What do you think, Jarrod?
Okay, so I just going back to what they said the first time. A school, an elementary school, with a door that connects to a public building.
Wait,
that just seems really problematic.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
I
connected
feel like
to what?
It's connected to a museum.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
that is
I
super
didn't know
problematic.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a municipal museum. So it's like I feel like that would be a prime,
very weird,
like a prime area you would want to secure, like a top priority. And apparently the guy with the attempted kidnapping just strolled on in there.
So in theory, you could just like, I don't know, I don't get paid enough for this, but like you could just in theory turn that into a wall, and then the museum is still close enough that the students can just, I don't know, walk around the building and then go in the front door of the museum. I mean, then it's not connected, right?
Or just lock up that door so no one can use it. Oh my gosh.
Students are taking knives through this door.
The stabbing in
Riverside.
Yeah, they're like, no, that's not a problem. Student gets fucking stabbed from a knife that was snuck in through that door, and then they denied it.
Oh, I have the footage. Yeah. So in the footage, the teacher actually
here's the
wrote
receipt.
up a thing.
This
and
is what I
he's
wanted to see.
I looked into him. He's the union rep for that school.
That's
okay. So he wrote up a thing like, "Hey, I've had students bring in large knives into the school. They get them through school security because these schools have metal detectors or some screening process. They're getting them in through this door that's not locked and has a bad door." And he wrote every school board member and sent it to him repeatedly for, I believe it was like 19 months that he kept pushing it.
God, Lord have mercy.
What's the reply? You bitch.
He apparently in their process you have to push it up the chain of command, and there's 3 levels to get something approved. The first level was denied, and that's just like your direct administrator. He denied it. It's like, no, it's not a problem.
Weird.
He appealed it and pushed it up to the school board, and the school board denied it.
Wow.
Then
There's the
he
receipt.
was still pushing to have it reviewed a 3rd time, and then it's on the superintendent. Between the 2nd and 3rd time, the stabbing at Riverside happened. That he was trying to get the issue fixed before it became a potentially fatal issue. And then they magically approved it on the 3rd iteration after somebody had to get stabbed.
Which is what he complains about. He says, this is reactionary. Why are we reactionary?
Well, he calls it, because that recording was before the stabbing, or right after. And he goes, you guys had to wait until somebody got stabbed, just like I predicted.
Yeah.
And sure enough, somebody got stabbed. Now you're
I'm glad that they're showing all the receipts,
And then
man.
the school board member has the balls to stand up there and be like, you never told us about this.
Oh, it starts getting in a screaming match with him.
Yeah. And like all the other
you.
teachers give him a standing ovation as he's walking away. So I'll get the editor of the video. You can go ahead and play it. It's like 2 or 3 minutes. It's crazy.
I just want to be clear that all the time we spend here in this fantasy land world, when students at Riverside are getting stabbed, there's fights there every single day. 911 is called on a regular basis, and no one has even come into the school and had a meeting like this and talk to parents and talk to teachers and talk to our
So outrageous.
and said, how
Crazy,
can we
dude.
protect? Excuse me, this is my time. This is my time,
You got
sir.
to see more time. But
This is my time, sir.
If you would have came to me and told me a situation about a knife, at that point, I wouldn't have called the authorities and took the proper action.
What is-
You know what you asked me? I can refresh your memory if you want.
Mr. Hurd, speaker has the floor.
I told you about the knife.
The speaker has the floor.
Thank you. I filed a grievance 19 months ago, and it was very detailed. In that grievance, I talked about how a student brought a knife to the side door. It's written in the grievance, which I sent to you all. Guess what? The non-student who stabbed the student in our school, guess what door they came in? That same door. And they were in the building.
It's a repeating
that day,
problem.
And no one even told us.
Everybody knows about the famous door.
Yes, he just said it wasn't even a student. Good grief.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, this has me thinking, and maybe I'm crazy here, but all that talk about like having security guards at schools after like the last tragic incident with younglings, I think they're onto something there. Like, a lot of people say, well, like, I'm uncomfortable with that. It's like, well, maybe it's time we stop like worrying so much about like what individuals feel and worry more about what's actually pragmatic. Because like, okay, if this is a problem, you up security. I don't know, you close the fucking door. I don't know what the deal is here, why it's so crazy for them to like, it keeps coming back to this door. Like, everybody seems to know about this door. Like, what? Nobody's like, lock it, seal it. Like make it a wall? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Word it up.
How hard is that? That is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Seems intentional. Like, I don't know though. Like, why do you want to steal cars? Why do you want to do all of these things to make your community so unsafe and just terrible? And in the schools, like, you're raising and shaping children for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to give them a safe environment where they can learn, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so much. It's too much.
Well, yeah, and then hearing about the teachers, some of the teachers being the actual creeps. It's wild.
So there's a student with most likely a weapon in our building and no one's sharing that with us. I'm going to say this. This district has done nothing. And I told you, what's it going to take? Someone getting stabbed or shot to have someone come in the building?
They called it.
And that's exactly what it takes.
Damn.
No one has lifted a finger for security at Riverside High School. It's a dog and pony show every single
Security
time.
guard.
We send in people for a week, it disappears, and then it's a disaster again. These kids and these teachers deserve better. And if you can't do the job, then all of you should have the dignity to resign and let someone else do it.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah.
So we go to that where Channel 2, the investigative reporter, pulls out the stats and says, hey, wait a second. Look at these numbers. These are concerning. These 4 major cases were all intentionally mislabeled as something other than what they actually were, whether
So
it be
wild.
stabbing, shooting, overdose, etc.
Fire them all.
Then the guy that did the attempted kidnapping of the 2 kids.
When was that?
Well, going back to the stabbing at Riverside, I believe, from what I can tell, there's been independent third-party investigations launched for the Riverside stabbing and for the shooting at McKinley in 2022. Neither of those independent third-party investigations launched by the school board have been released to the public or the Buffalo PD or the legal system.
Who's the
at all.
third party in these situations?
Whoever they pick.
Yeah,
Right
that's
now,
what
it's
I'm saying.
open. It's any law firm can get on their website right now and apply to be the third-party investigator. And I
they're
believe
very
with the
anti-law
Riverside
enforcement.
stabbing,
It's so
I looked
weird.
into it, and the law firm that they did then cited, assumingly they found results that they didn't like. So the law firm's like, well, this is actually attorney-client privilege, so we don't have to give this to you.
Is that their workaround so they can just do it?
Yeah, so
that
this is their
way?
workaround. They're gonna say, oh, we're gonna do a third-party independent investigation, and then once we have the results, if we don't like them, we're gonna claim it's attorney-client privilege and never mention it to the public, and the public's gonna forget about it by then.
It doesn't require
We investigated ourselves and found we did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
We really gotta keep talking about this and not let people forget.
Yep. That's the independent apparatus of media is very important. I frickin' even the current administration understood that with their whole anybody can be a journalist now kind of thing. Like they'll basically these guys could probably apply and get like a press pass for the White House if they wanted to. But yeah, and it's because like these are the channels of communication that exist now. Like what we were saying earlier, like these guys probably put that shitty little Buffalo news channel to shame with their numbers.
Oh, for sure. Guaranteed.
So, yeah. Very important that even people like us, like no matter, like even somebody starting a YouTube channel tomorrow can start covering this stuff, and it's important, it keeps it on the pulse, right? So
fact is the crazy part. What are you going to look into? It's going to take you a fucking afternoon if you're not clinically retarded.
Right. Yeah. And they had a 4.5-hour meeting the other day trying to appoint a special investigator. 4.5 hours, couldn't figure out who they were going to have do the investigation.
Has made an attorney-client privilege so that it could never be shared intentionally. That was the end result of that one.
So that's one thing to look out for or really stress moving forward is not letting that happen as they hire a new one.
Yeah, they'll have somebody investigate
They're
it.
intentionally not going to hire a new one. I can't prove it. I can't prove it with evidence, but I have multiple people that have all basically said, well, the superintendent's retiring in June and she has 3 or 4 friends on the school board, and they're basically going to stall this until she gets her good retirement, and then they'll let it go to an investigation. So they're just trying to drag this out as long as possible to protect their buddy. Then they're going to drag it out as long as possible.
Who's the superintendent?
Oh,
The hyphen
Dr.
woman.
something Knight.
The one that's really upset that she had to shut down her social media and ignore everybody coming to her with concerns.
And who's going to be next appointed? Because you knew who was next.
Yeah,
in
so
line,
the
which
next
sets
guy
something to
getting
watch out
appointed,
for.
I've heard from multiple sources he's not great either. I can pull up his name.
Well, he's friends in that group, so he's already conditioned for this.
Well, there's only
behavior.
like one male in the board, isn't
Dr. Tanya Williams Knight.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I got a hold of him an email because one thing the news did that was really shitty is they took the one snippet where you were talking about allegedly one teacher in particular was putting kids inside of a bathroom with the lights off.
Yes.
One teacher is what we said.
Correct.
The news then portrayed it to the teachers union president, Richard Nigro, that we were saying this about all teachers.
Which we're not.
And he was upset. Obviously, like that's fair if you think that we're saying all Buffalo teachers are throwing small children in a cage.
You also
which we're not saying at all.
from our
And he's like, you're painting everybody with a broad brush, right? But they're just clipping a couple second segments out and portraying it.
On another podcast called Black
show the
Rifle
receipt.
Coffee Podcast, High described how some teachers and teacher aides use school bathrooms for so-called timeout rooms.
The Buffalo Public School will put children in the bathroom and turn off the lights and then put their foot against the door so the kid can't get out. Where's the timeout room? Oh, it's the bathroom. Timeout room is the bathroom? Yeah.
Wow.
What do you do in the timeout room? Well, my teacher and the teacher's aide, the Buffalo Public School, will put children in the bathroom and turn off the lights.
Wow,
So-
I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, exactly.
Geez, the news doing that to two people who are trying to better the environment for...
Dude, that's like solitary confinement type shit.
Yeah, man.
And they don't even do that to some criminals, dude, because
Good
it's so
grief.
like harmful. To be
Like if a teacher seriously, if a teacher had done that at my high school where I grew up, and I grew up like my high school was super rural. There were 96 people in my graduating class, like small high school. But if a teacher did that to a student and someone found out about it, it may not even be their parent. Just a parent found out about it, that teacher would catch an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Like in a public ass whooping for that. Like you just don't. That's absurd.
Public justice, man. Like, yeah, that used to be a thing, and I think it's because everything has just so many layers to it these days. Like, if you're just a parent, and then all of a sudden something happens like this out of the blue, where do you even start? How do you find people's names and like, you know, like, it's just different times. But you're so right, man. Like, that would not have like gone down. Like, there'd be like parents waiting.
That teacher would have to resign. Like he would have to resign and leave the school. Like that's all there is to it.
Move somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Yep. Anyway,
people in their community. Brandon, who would know what that feels like?
You know, this is why I think that media trust is at an all-time high.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's a smart move on their part because right now, all the information I have hundreds of teachers that I've talked to and interviewed and everything. And they're the ones that are giving me all the information, telling me what FOIA requests to fill out. Like they're the ones that are helping. By and large, all of these teachers are great people trying to do what's best for these kids. And they all feel that their hands are being tied behind their back. They're not allowed to do what needs to be done to keep these kids and themselves safe. And the administration is intentionally doing it. I mean, you're 2 decades into your career at this point, and you've never been written up in 20 years.
Never. All of a sudden, instantly. Getting called down to the administrator's office. And the odd thing about these write-ups, they weren't anything. They had no backing. It was just to intimidate me. I mean, it just got
they do that.
crazy. I just pulled it up.
They do that in our school. Intimidation write-ups.
This document, it's like every other day we are getting called down. And I got to the point where my phone would ring in my classroom and I would get sick and I would puke. Because I would literally go to the bathroom and puke because I was being tormented every day and supposed to teach kids at the same time. And it makes you physically ill because I'm not used to treating people this way ever. And I'll tell you what,
so they had to do it
then, and up until a month and a half ago, it has not stopped. They have not stopped retaliating against me, and it's almost gotten worse.
So what they're doing is they're coming out and making it seem like, we just want to burn everything to the ground and go after these teachers. We don't. Like, the teachers are great. It's just not even all of the administration. Some members in the administration and the culture that they've created are not safe, and it doesn't allow these teachers to do their jobs.
Which is really fun that you have teachers on the inside that are essentially like with telling you what FOIA requests to file and shit.
Oh yeah,
that's basically like they're giving you the exhaust port plans on the Death Star. Like, please, for the love of God, blow this up.
But dude, like, how classic is that? Like, how classic is that? If you want to find the rot, start at the executive administrative level, and just work your way down, because it is the worst and most pervasive at the administrative level across any layer of bureaucracy or like any bureaucratic system. Start at the top administrative level, and that's where the rot is the deepest. It's regardless of the institution, it's so ridiculous. And it's like, you want to clean anything up, eliminate the either all or most of your administrative level, and start that level over again with different people, and see things turn around. And it's that, because it is the function of a corrupt bureaucracy to create those layers of administration to just slow things down to where it's like, well, this has to go through a 3-step process before you can even begin to ask a janitor to keep a door locked.
Jesus, dude, I know what the fuck is going on. It's like,
so
the 3-step process to, I understand the kid is like scared or something, but like there's 3 steps to this. Like,
it has to be approved at all 3 levels.
Jeez, dude, it's pretty wild, pretty fucking wild. I agree though. The bureaucracy thing is pretty disgusting, especially when it comes to the very serious things. Like I said, that door is famous at this point in their little community. Right. Come on, get with it,
To me, is every single, with the exception of like 1 or 2, and the 1 or 2 that I've talked to, the only reason they're not terrified of losing their job is because the school board has already gone after them repeatedly and tried to fire them and lost in court.
Correct. Nice.
The gentleman that we've already showed the clip of at that school board meeting, that was the union rep, I forget what instance it was, but he got into it with the Buffalo School Board over some safety stuff, and they put him on paid leave for 2 years while they tried to fire him.
What the
including
fuck?
Other people,
including because he was the head of the social studies department. So not only did they put him on paid leave, they put the entire social studies department.
District violation section.
I forgot about social studies being even a topic in school.
I think that was
I like social studies.
Yeah, I didn't hate it from what I remember. Oh wow. Yeah, more receipts.
Which I believe was 5 teachers in total on paid leave for a year, and tried to fire all of them. And by sheer coincidence, the other 2 social studies teachers of the 5 that they put on paid leave were the other 2 union reps for that school.
Almost like they're trying to union bust, which is
illegal.
Oh!
And then they ended up losing in court, saying the teacher did absolutely nothing wrong. And the Buffalo School Board's people testifying on their behalf were found inadmissible in court, presumably because they got caught lying under oath.
About what?
I don't know exactly what. I just, I have the court documents, and
it's been going on a while.
Their testimony was deemed no good.
Wow.
And nothing happened because of that?
He ended up getting to keep his job.
No, but I mean, like, lying under oath, there was no repercussions?
Why would there be?
It seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. If there is a mass layoff or they try that, understand why it's happening. It is the big cogs right now that are the issue. It's a lot of the times what happens. It's the big cogs at the top. You can't do anything. So they're just like, oh, replace these ones until we find team players, and then rinse, repeat until you do find team players. But right now, the goal of all this is to get rid of those fucking big cogs that are literally pieces of garbage.
Ed Branch.
It's like that kind of behavior should be a red flag to anybody paying attention. It's just like when the outcome, or so call it the product.
Yeah.
When the product of an administration, the quality of the product is called into question, and then the people calling and the people raising the questions are replaced by people who won't ask questions, who won't raise questions. That should be a huge red flag.
Sketchy, yeah.
So that whole like the team player thing, it's like, hey, this thing is broken, and if we fix it, this will get better in these measurable ways. Get that guy out of here. Get somebody else in here who's not going to ask questions and upset the apple cart. It's like, okay, right there. That's how you know. That's how you know that the whatever that institution is rotten at the core.
Yep, rotten. And yeah, you just start at the top, work your way down, follow the money.
Yep.
Like that's often a good time. Like they're literally like they're doing a really good job at like, okay, I keep saying they're showing the receipts, but like they're going the process of which they're going about this is the correct process, because like the receipts they're showing, that's what you follow. You follow, well, who made that report? Who denied this other thing? You follow all the paperwork and the money and stuff, and you try to work your way up to the main problems. You get a few of those major cogs replaced, and suddenly you can actually affect major change to the system. You get a bowl in the china shop in there to mix things up a little bit. I mean, they have a whole podcast episode here, so I encourage viewers to go watch the whole thing. But yeah, I figured we get in and cover some of the more important things with the update. This is making me realize this has been going on a really long time, and it's deeply entrenched. It's like an actual war that's like going on over there legally. With Buffalo. So.
You know, his comments are still turned off on his Twitter.
Good.
They're gonna have to be turned off for a while.
His phone number was on his Twitter for a while.
Well, it was like his business phone number, I think.
Yeah, that was an interesting call.
You know, maybe don't attack the podcast as trying to stick up for kids, and then double down when we quote you and post the entire minute-and-a-half opening of your video where you do that and go, well, no, it's not what he said.
It was taken out of context. I'm like, no, I watched the full fucking thing.
We played more of his original opening in that video straight than they did of my entire 27-minute interview at Channel 7.
It's why I'm not to apologize. I do not get that mindset. It's like, I wonder if I just came out and was like, hey, sorry, I messed up, how that might react.
Even if he was just like, hey, clarify, just to clarify, I think, like, you know, these are very important allegations. I didn't mean to downplay it, whatever.
Right.
Just take professionalism. Accountability.
Yeah. My intent wasn't this. You understand? I'm sorry. Yeah. My intent was to talk about the thing, and I hit on this thing first. I could have saved that for a later date, and our army would have been like, old.
So yeah, they covered a lot of important stuff there, and it seemed like that was getting to the point where they kind of got most of it out, and they were just going to hang out for the rest of it. But like, yeah, anybody watching and listening, I encourage. Go check out that episode, follow their coverage on this, follow our coverage on this. I mean, might as well talk about it when it comes out.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild stuff to see in our time, where it's like an entire system of schooling and teachers and stuff are like just kind of going completely against law enforcement when it comes to children's stuff. It's really fucking wild.
Yep.
And bums me out a little, but hey,
it's like at the very least, what would be great if it did was wake the people in Buffalo up to start paying attention to local elections. Like, who's on your school board? What are these people doing? What do they stand for? What are they allowing? Like, where do they get their funding? Like, start paying attention. Like, if you're in Buffalo or any school district where this kind of stuff is going on, because I guarantee you, it's more than just here, but like, pay attention. Like, if you're a parent with kids in the school district, pay attention to your local elections. If you don't, then don't complain. Like, if you're not going to complain, because those are the kind of psychos that are going to get on your school board and have control over what kind of environment your kids are going to be stuck in for 8 hours a day. So maybe pay attention.
Yeah, if you don't want to homeschool, then you got to pay attention to all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise you are quite literally just handing your children off to strangers.
To who knows who.
Yeah.
And like the guy was saying, it's like most of the teachers are fine, but if most of the teachers are fine and one doesn't care to ever check if a door is locked, Like that's all it takes. That's all it takes for some other person off the street to come in and stab somebody.
Yeah, it really does just seem like a conspiracy of teachers and administrators against police and parents. It really seems that way.
And the retaliation is wild too. I mean, it needs to get more coverage. So I wonder if we can actually help blow this thing up. Maybe somebody in DC, like in the Trump administration, would see it and kind of step in. Or, I mean, I don't know. I would really think that we need our federal government to keep the states in line, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit. In ways. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. When it comes to like the kids.
Parents in that school district need to start paying attention to local elections and who's on their school board. Because the people who are content with dysfunctional bureaucracy are the ones that are going to stay there, and then the longer they're there, the deeper the rot goes.
Mm-hmm.
And like eventually, like if it's not treated, the rot turns gangrenous.
Gets in the blood.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'll admit that even at least the first time I voted, I only voted for president. I just ignored everything else because I had no idea, and I'm not gonna, cast a vote if I don't know anything about the local stuff. And so, after that, I've tried to learn enough where I could probably make a choice, and sometimes I don't even vote because I don't like anyone. Or there's not enough information, and sometimes it's hard to find information about, especially local, people in your city and stuff like that.
It is weirdly hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like there's been a few, I want to say, like state reps or some kind of thing like that. Or is it the state reps that we vote in? Or are those?
I think so.
But
I think we vote.
There's just a bunch of stuff, where I've tried to look and I couldn't find out even like if someone was a Democrat or a Republican, or there's no information about them. So what do you do at that point?
And that's like a matter of the culture, I think.
I think there should be some kind of requirement if you're running for any sort of office where people are going to vote for you. You have to have like a basic profile filled out with different, like opinions on things and stuff like that, so you can kind of match it up. I think that would really help people know who they're voting for. So a little bit of reform with voting couldn't hurt,
Yep. Right. Yep. I think kind of everybody's on the same page after the last few elections of like both sides being. So there's clearly something wrong at both sides. Always, without fail, accuse the other side of cheating. Yeah, I mean that's typical of any like game. Like, oh, you beat me at Halo. You were watching my screen. We've all done that. Yeah, screen cheating. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah,
I think
this is fun.
It's going. I am happy to see the process is going along. It's going along, and it's getting attention. And it does suck to hear about the teachers kind of in standing in the way of everything. Yeah. But
he did the right thing, standing up, and regardless of what people are saying, he's still out here standing up for what's right. So I really respect that.
Yeah,
those FOIA requests is a good idea.
Yeah.
That's the silver lining too, is where you do have some teachers in that school that are telling them this is what you need to FOIA. So like that's a silver
amazing
lining.
Yeah, super fucking amazing. Yeah. And then the one teacher, I mean, you can chalk it up to pandering or something, but if that teacher is being honest about like being like forced and coerced to treat the students a certain way, that's huge too. Like yeah, those teachers, like, they're clearly not all bad if that's the case. But it really does seem like a lot of them are creepy from the outside perspective looking in. So thanks for joining us, everybody, and thank you, Jarrod. And
my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Until next time, we'll try to keep covering it. But cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Put one right between your teeth